Hey everybody, Michelle here, and we are going to do a two-parter on this topic, which is, drumroll, our number one problem that everyone comes to me with, potty training. So I'm going to break it up into two podcasts because I like to keep things short and sweet and digestible. And then you will have everything you need to potty train your child between this episode and the next episode. So the way I'm going to break this up is the way I kind of break it up in my program. So we have a 90-day group coaching program. We have a 100% success rate for the families that join that program when it comes to potty training, meaning that if you come into that program, you say, potty training is my goal, you do not leave without a potty trained child. We have 100% success rate. You work with us with potty training, you leave with a potty trained child. It's like, oh, the heavens part. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. It is the most asked question I get as a autism mom and life coach is, help me, Michelle. I need to get this child out of diapers. I'm losing my mind. I cannot change one more shit diaper. So I'm answering the call, and in two podcasts, this one and the next one, we're going to go over exactly what I do in the program to help parents potty train their children. So I'm not even going to hold anything back. The real challenge is I'm going to get it done in two less than 30-minute episodes of a podcast. So here we go. So today, the way I'm going to break this up is exactly how I do it in my program. The first episode today, we're going to talk more about our potty thinking. And then the second episode, we're going to talk about the tactical. And the reason I break it up this way is that back in the day when we did first start doing all the potty training in the program, I would say 80% of potty training is mindset. 20% is tactical. So you're all here. You may be all listening like, okay, great. I'm so excited. She's talking about potty training. I can't wait to know all the things. And all the things are the tactical, because that's what we all come in thinking, like there's some magic formula. And I do have magic. Let's not be real here. I do have tactical magic. But all this magic is going to be something I've never heard before. And this is going to be it, because she gets 100% success rate and she's going to share that with me. Now I say that potty training is 95% mental and 5% tactical. So I'm starting with the good shit. I know you want the tactical, but I'm starting with the good shit because 95% of the game is right in this episode. And why do I say that? So we talk about something in the program called potty thinking. And potty thinking, and why it's 95% of the game to get your child potty trained, is because all of the power, believe it or not, isn't in the actual doing of the things. It's our thoughts that we have when we're doing the things that make or break our potty success. So it's actually thoughts before we've started doing the things, and then there's thoughts about it as we're doing the things. And it's such a beautiful experience to have the honor of being a part of, because I watched their lives and minds change, like mine did when my girl started to use sign language. So for majority of my families, their aha moment is potty training. Mine was communication, but I don't care how you get it. This is the beginning of momentum in the right direction to start really showing up for your baby in a way that you've never had before. So I'm whatever you want to do it, I'm all in. So all right. So let's talk about potty thinking. And one of the things we talk about in the program is, listen, there is not, I believe, and I've asked my BCBAs this, and we've got years and years of experience amongst the four of us, right? That we believe most, if not all, children and adults with autism, no matter how severe the autism symptoms may present, even if they can speak or not, nonverbal too, pre-verbal, I like to call it, can potty train. That is almost every, if not all, children and adults on the spectrum who are in diapers can potty train. Now, I know, like, I'm probably going to get fucking hate mail for that. Like, how could that fucking be? You're out of your mind. You can't say that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I can say that. I choose to say that because we've yet to meet a family that we can't help to potty train. And your child does not have to have language to have it. And they don't have to present a certain flavor of autism to have it. We believe most, if not all, can potty train. So why do we think that? Well, first off, we have 100% success rate in the program. Second off, if your child or adult can use a fucking iPad, I always say this. I always use it. Your child, like, I don't know if my kid can do it. I'll get these. I don't know, Michelle. I'm willing to come and work with you, but do you really think this is possible? I'm like, all right, tell me about your child. I had a mom come to me just like that, and her son could like read in a book. Like he could read like probably better than I could read, like full on paragraphs, way beyond his age. By the way, I think he was like 5, and he was reading like on like I don't know 3rd, 4th grade level. Amazing reading, but she believed he's just not going to get it with the the pee and poop to go in here. No. He can read. He's really intelligent, and he can read. And he's very literal, but that's not in the cards for him. This is what she's thinking, which is nuts, right? When you think, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he be able to do that if he can do something as involved as learning sounds and communicating those words with his voice and reading? Why couldn't he learn that? That's what I think. But what I learned as I do this is that what I think, even though I think everybody thinks that way, isn't. And that's why we want to kind of bring lights onto our thoughts about our kids on the spectrum. So I even go as far as like, listen, pre-verbal, severe autism symptoms, what does your kid do every day? What do they do with their time? Do they play on an iPad? Do they play with toys? Do they jump on a trampoline? Because if they can do all of that shit, they can potty train. So peeing and pooping on a potty isn't any more complicated than what they may be doing to keep their lives like super busy right now. Okay? So if you can teach you anything, we start with this. So how do we get there? How do we get to the point where if we see our kids have skills with some things that are preferred things for them, but we automatically assume a non-preferred, right now, temporarily non-preferred for them, isn't possible? How does that happen? So we talk a lot about mindset in the program because the process of potty training isn't the issue. It's our thoughts and what we're thinking about it while we're doing it that can pose a problem. And I didn't create this quote, and I don't know if I said it on the last podcast, but it's such a great quote. It was like the mind's a furnace. It can either warm your house or burn it down, and that applies to everything, including potty training. So I want to know if you've had thoughts like this. I know I have, just in general, about this whole autism game that we're in. I would think my child is autistic. Potty training is going to be a nightmare. I'm ill-equipped to be a mother of a child with special needs. I can't do this. I've tried everything, which is the total fucking kiss of death. And we'll go into that in a minute. And my kid can't sit still, let alone be on a potty. Potty training our kids, it starts with our thoughts first. And your thinking needs to be setting yourself up and your child up for success in the potty department. So if the first example I think on my first episode was somebody had said something to me like, why hope for like big things? Like why do that? What if it's not possible? It will never be possible unless you do hope for big things. It has to start here. So, you guys come to me and you come to me thinking, I'm talking about tactical, let's go. And you come in and I'm like, guess what? We're not talking about that first because it's not about doing the things. It's about our thoughts about doing the things, our thoughts before we do them and our thoughts during them that are going to make or break whether or not we're going to have potty success here. So if I think about potty training and I say, I'll even give a real world example of some things that we've dealt with in the program, like potty training. He's holding the pee so long he's going to get an infection. We started the potty training. The first day went okay. Then the second or third day, he's starting to hold it more, and he's only letting little trickles of pee come out, and I'm really worried. And I think he's in terrible pain. And I think, right? Like keep focus on the things I'm saying. I think he's in terrible pain. I think he's not getting it. He's gonna have a bladder infection. These are all assumptions, all thoughts created on the environment that we're in now in the midst of this potty training. And in this exact example, the mom said to me, I said to her, if you are concerned that he is physically not right, and we don't encourage potty training if a child is sick, if a child has diarrhea or a medical, really, really painful really painful constipation. I'm not talking about like I haven't pooped in 5 days. I'm talking about like, they're bent over in pain. They can't function. That kind of constipation. We don't encourage potty training. But I said to her, if it sets your mind at ease, go to the doctor and see what they say. So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor said, if he is potty training, this is behavior that will happen. But if it's prolonged, it could cause an infection. It could be a problem. Now, if I were at that doctor appointment, I would say, what does prolonged mean? When do I have a problem? And, ask for suggestions, right? But because her thought is already that this isn't working, she's thinking that her child's in terrible pain. She's not even in a space where she'd even think to ask for more information on what she was being told. So she comes back and she says, my husband is concerned now. This is what the doctor said. My husband is concerned now. I don't know what else to do. I'm going to go out and buy pull-ups. That night, she goes out and buys pull-ups. In the back of her head, she's got the thoughts like, this isn't working. This isn't happening. This can't happen. He's going to get an infection. The doctor said it is typical of children who are potty trained to do this, but she attached to, if he does it for a prolonged period of time, he could get an infection. Her husband is worried now. So she's got that rolling around in her head as she's coming home with these pull-ups. And then she also has what we've talked about. He is so smart. He's done it already. He had eliminated on the potty a few times. He can do this. I know he can. She's got these conflicting thoughts in her head. One of them, it's painful. He can't do it. We've tried and failed. It's just not in the cards for him. That's the pain that she's used to. It's familiar pain. She's used to that life of believing those things about her child and changing shit and piss diapers. What I'm asking her to do is not more painful. It's actually the same. It's just unfamiliar pain. But that pain, which, by the way, the pain is a part of life. If everyone thinks that they're supposed to have I remember, and if you haven't watched The Matrix, it's one of the greatest things. They said they first made The Matrix and these people, and they wanted everyone to be happy all the time, and the crops died. It was a disaster. Because life isn't meant to be all joy. Life is meant to have pain and joy. Because that's what makes joy, when you know what it feels like to not have it. So pain is going to be a part of our process anyway. I'm having her have pain as well, but it's a familiar pain. But it's not as familiar as the pain she is in with a child that's perpetually not making progress with potty training, and she's changing diapers. The point I'm trying to make here is that my pain isn't any more painful than what she was already doing, but the outcome is so much greater. The potential outcome for that pain has a rainbow potential at the end of it, where her pain is just a perpetual circle and nothing changes. So she's got this. She's driving home from the store with the pull-ups in the car, and she's thinking about both of these things. And they go to bed that night. She doesn't put the pull-up on him. He stays dry overnight. She wakes up in the morning. She says, listen. She's thinking again. She has the option to give him the pull-up right now, and he could pee on it and be done. And all back to that pain again. She'd be out of my pain and the scariness of thinking he's going to have this infection, or she could go and go to the pain that she's used to back to where we are again, where I've just reinforced my belief that potty training isn't in the cards for us. Or she could start thinking again about all the reasons why he can potty train, how smart he is. She's heard him use words. Not with her, but she's heard him use words at school. She hears him read. He's done it already. And she says to him, my boy, please, if you can just sit and pee on the potty for mommy. And I don't know what changed. She asked him that 5 days in a row prior. But that fucking morning, he peed on the potty. And that night before, she bought pull-ups. Had she quit when she wanted to, Had she just went back to the comfortable mental pain, emotional pain that she was used to, she would have missed out that next day. That very next day, she would have had a fully potty trained child. Her experience from start to finish, it sounds really like, oh, this sounds awful. I can't believe it, and it was so in the mental and emotional turmoil. Do you know how long that whole process was? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Not 2 years. Not 6 months. Not even 2 months. It was 2 weeks. That's how powerful the mind is. The mind is not meant to keep us happy. It's meant to keep us safe. And it put her through the ringer that she almost quit again on potty training him. I wish I had done her consult call to come into my program, and I said, potty training is totally not optional. He's definitely going to do this. What do you think it would feel like to have him potty train? She just went like this. Oh, I can't even, I don't even believe it's possible. It would be so, our lives would be so different right now if that was possible. And it happened. Two weeks later. This is the beauty of why I say it's 95% of the game. That her baby was ready and waiting to potty train whenever she was. And it wasn't easy. And I wasn't saying that there wasn't pain involved with this. But she was already in pain. That's that whole bullshit of hope or why not hope. Why not hope? And why not hope for potty training? What do you have now? How could it be any worse than what you're already living with now? And she could hope, and she could have failed, and she could say, why hope now? Or could she say, no, I'm going to continue to hope. I'm going to continue to believe the thoughts I need to believe to make potty training possible. I had a mom that we do these like little boot camps on potty training so we can actually like coach parents. I can actually take your questions live, which I think is that's the heart of anything, because you all think that you have unicorns and you don't. So you all like, all right, Michelle, I've got a question for you, and it's very different from everybody else who asked whatever, right? And we do these little boot camps. And I love it because we actually get to like really like dig into your brains to kind of feel like all the different questions that you have on your specific situation. And the whole thing with this potty training experience is to really just uncover like how much power you do have to get this done. And it's such an amazing feeling as a mother to be able to give this skill to your child that you thought wasn't possible ever. And that's why with 80% of my clients, if they come in with potty training, and I'll tell you, we work on more than just potty training. It's like, great, you're 2 weeks in and we just got potty training done. Let's talk about everything else. What's so beautiful about our program is that, they'd be more than delighted just to leave with a potty trained child. But the idea here is it's not even about the actual potty training. It's the momentum it creates in our hearts and our minds as to what else would be possible for our child if they were able to get this skill. And that's really what I want to hit home to you guys today, is that if life is going to be 50% pleasure, 50% pain, and nobody has it all either way, right? If that's the case, why not make the pain matter? Don't stay in a familiar pain just because it's comfortable and you're used to it. Why not make the pain matter and keep pushing towards that outcome? Had she quit, the night before her son became fully potty trained, she bought diapers. She would have missed that opportunity. And I've seen this 100 times over. Now that she's got this, bam, this is just the beginning. Let's go. Now we're going to start working on his communication skills. Now we're going to work on this. Now we're going to work on that. And you're all going to come to me with different questions. I could have somebody say, okay, I got pee on lock, but poop, it's never going to happen. She's going to, he or she's going to have this problem and she's going to, she's going to be impacted, or it's going to be all of the things. And I'm not saying that these things are things that we shouldn't be like considering or looking at. And of course, running your potty training process through your doctor is always advised. I'm not a doctor. But what I can say is that we can decide that this is no longer optional and they have to potty train, or we can also decide that I'm not strong enough to do this. My child doesn't understand this, which, by the way, no child, neurotypical or not, when you're taking them out of a diaper, understands that pee and poop go here. You have to, over repetition, teach them that that's the behavior that you want. So if you could walk away with anything with today's episode, is to just understand the power of the mind here. That she was about to quit, got a potty trained child. How many other things could this apply to? How amazing is it that my mind, my beliefs are affecting the actions that I take, which gets my child the results or not the results that I want? And how amazing that connection still is, even though that baby's no longer in your tummy or is no longer a baby attached to an umbilical cord. I call it the invisible umbilical cord. Whatever I think and feel, that's what my baby feels. So we always start at the mind, thinking that I now believe that this is that this is no longer optional, that they have to potty train, that if I want them to be independent. I am a mother who came and had a baby, autism or not, to teach and raise that baby and teach that baby life skills. Just because I got thrown the autism card, which sucks, it was a blow. I actually don't even see it as a suck anymore. But at the time, I was scared. It was a blow. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know what the possibilities could be. Is inconsequential. At the end of the day, I chose to be a parent. At the end of the day, I had this baby. I have to teach life skills, period. And autism does not give me the right to make that optional anymore. So if you're in that state, like that mental mud, and all of a sudden now we're talking like this, how do you get out of it? So what I love to think about is compelling whys. And in the last episode, I had mentioned about a 21-year-old who learned to potty train at 21 because her parents were stuck in a corner. She couldn't go to a school that they wanted her to go to unless she was potty trained. But in my mind, it wasn't like a 21-year-old all of a sudden a light bulb hit and she could potty train. She could have potty trained all along, but her parents didn't believe it was possible until they were backed into a corner, and then their compelling why to get it done forced them to see this through and not quit. At the end of the day, if you really want to just take it down to the crudest example, the difference between people who potty train their autistic kids and the people who don't is the people who don't quit. And that's why I guess we have 100% success rate, because we don't quit. We don't quit until it's done. I right now have a mom who's struggling with poop. Got pee on lock, struggling with poop. I have zero doubt, -3 doubt, or whatever it is, the most strongest confidence that we're going to potty train that child, that we're going to get the poop down, because I don't stop until I do, because I know she's capable of it. Especially this little bugger. She takes the pull-up, shits in it, and then hands it to her mother. We will get her potty. She's just using that pull-up as a toilet. So we just got to teach her, no, the toilet is here. And we're going to go into tactical for the next episode, but I just really wanted to spend today just talking about the mind, our thoughts, that they're optional. We can think whatever we want about autism, and we can think whatever we want about this whole potty training experience we want to have. And I want to end with this, and this is going to be I hope people don't I don't care if you give hate mail me or not. I'm so used to this shit, it's not even funny, because I'm so driven and so determined and believe so much in what I'm sharing with you guys. I want to help as many babies as possible stay out of fucking group homes. Not that it's a problem, but if my job is to be a mother who makes children independent, my children independent, I want to help you to do the same for your kids. And if my program can help as many people as possible keep their children out of group homes, I know we've already done that, then I feel like as a human, I've given God, I've tried to give God, show up for God and do for his children, because we're all his children. So if I'm going to leave you with this, I had a mom in one of my programs, my little mini boot camps, say to me that she's here for potty training. She's struggling with it. She wasn't sure her child could do it, and that her husband believes that he could cure her of autism. That the husband is telling the wife that their daughter with autism, that he believes that they can cure her of it. And she was so angry with him and pissed off. Like, him saying that really hurt her. And I said to her, well, it's a thought, right, that he's having. And how does he show up for her as her father? Oh, he's an amazing father. Even though this makes me crazy that he says this and hurts me. He is willing to do anything for her. He's willing to try anything. Every day he has new ideas on things that they could be doing to help her. And I say, if that thought serves him, and it teaches him to show up for his child, it encourages and motivates him to it, I don't have a problem with it. I have zero problem with it. In fact, I thought I could cure my daughter of autism for a very long time. And I thought at one point I had. And that thought process served me well for a while. I showed up for her. I tried all of the things. Every time we all took face first hits, I got up. I was disappointed, right? I was disappointed. I had hope and it didn't work out the way I was disappointed. I got up. Okay, what else can we try? At one point in our journey, I realized that couldn't serve me well. And it did make me down. It made me feel bad because I thought at one point I could do that. I could cure her of autism and we would be out of the club. And then as she got older, I started to realize that age-appropriate autism-associated things were going to pop up. And they would probably continue to pop up. And that thought wasn't a reality for me anymore. And I was disappointed. And I felt very sad. And I was upset. But then I chose to think, well, what if you could have autism and live an amazing life? And that's what I think now about her. And that is exactly the life she is living now. And we have a real life example in our program. One of our BCBAs is a trifecta. I call him a trifecta because he's male and he's a BCBA, which is like a unicorn in itself in our world. But the third thing is he is an adult male BCBA who has autism, who is getting married in a couple of months, who is living an amazing life, whose mother was told that he would never speak. He didn't say his first words till the age of 7. And he is now an adult with autism living an amazing life. My point here is it doesn't matter what we think, as long as those thoughts are keeping us on the path to doing anything to help our babies. I don't care if her husband wants to believe he can cure autism. If it serves him well to show up as her father and keeps him in the mindset that I'm going to do anything, I'll stop at nothing to help her, then he can think it. You need to get yourself in that space of what is it that you need to think so that when you're working on these life skills and you hit road bumps with them, because you will, what is it that I need to continue to think to keep me on the course to never give up on my baby? Hope this was helpful. We're going to get into tactical in the next episode. Bye, everybody.